flat bone. It is primary bone because develops from connective tissue directly into bony tissue without cartilage. It has 4 angles and 4 borders: margo or angulus frontalis, angulus accipitalis, angulus sphenoidalis, and angulus mastoidus. This angle, angulus sphenoidalis, attached to greater wing of sphenoid bone, and This from this side. That is angulus sphenoidalis attached to greater wing of sphenoid bone, and angulus mastoidus attached to mastoid process of temporal bone. Now, borders: margo sagittalis, margo frontalis, margo accipitalis, and margo squamosus. On external surface we have tuber parietale and foramen parietale. And on the internal surface, that is groove of superior sagittal sinus, the same like in occipital bone and in frontal bone, sulcus sinus sagittalis superior. And behind, posteriorly from mastoid angle, here it is, we have groove of sigmoid sinus. Today you already know groove of sigmoid sinus where? In occipital bone, sulcus sinus sigmoide. Do you remember? That is sulcus sinus sigmoide, here and here. And the same groove we can see in temporal bone and in parietal bone, groove of sigmoid sinus, sulcus sinus sigmoide. It is right bone because margo squamosus should be laterally, and angulus mastoidus has a groove, sulcus sinus sigmoide, here it is. Or angulus sphenoidalis is more sharp than angulus mastoidus, wider than angulus sphenoidalis. That is right bone. Temporal bone, os temporale. Here it is, temporal bone. That is temporal bone. Here it is. It consists of 3 parts: pars squamosa here, smallest part, that is pars tympanica, only in the region of external acoustic meatus, pars tympanica, and last, all of this part, that is pars petrosa. Pars petrosa. Pars squamosa has process, that is zygomatic process. Here it is, processus zygomaticus, zygomatic process. And at the base of this process we have tubercle, tuberculum articularia. And at the root of zygomatic process we can see fossa mandibularis, mandibular fossa, place of attachment of mandible. And on the floor of this fossa we can see fissura. This fissura between tympanic part and pars squamosa. That is why it is fissura tympano-squamosa. Fissura tympano-squamosa. Here it is. Now, pars petrosa. Pars petrosa has pyramidal shape, and here it is. We have 3 borders and 3 surfaces: margo anterior, anterior border, margo superior, and margo posterior. Anterior, posterior, and superior. And surfaces: facies anterior, facies posterior, and facies inferior. Anterior, posterior, and inferior surfaces, and anterior, posterior, and superior borders. Anterior surface has eminence, eminentia arcuata, and space between eminentia arcuata and pars squamosa, here it is, that is roof of tympanic cavity, that is tegmen tympani, tegmen tympani. The same we can see 2 grooves, sulcus nervi petrosi majoris, greater petrosal nerve pass, here it is, and sulcus nervi petrosi minoris, lesser petrosal nerve. And these grooves goes to the same hiatus, hiatus canalis nervi petrosi majoris, and not so clear to see, should be another opening, hiatus canalis nervi petrosi minoris. posterior surface. Here it is sulcus sinus petrosi superior and sulcus sinus petrosi inferior. Porus acousticus internus continues into meatus acousticus internus. Porus, that is opening, and meatus, that is canal inside of temporal bone. Porus and meatus acousticus internus. And here it is groove of sigmoid sinus, sulcus sinus sigmoide. Inferior surface. First of all, two processes: mastate process, processus mastoidus, and stylate process, processus styloidus. Between them, stylomastate foramen, foramen stylomastoidum. Medially from mastate process, that is a notch, incisura mastoidea. And medially from this notch, groove of occipital artery, sulcus arteria occipitalis. Here it is jugular fossa, fossa jugularis, and carotid canal, canalis caroticus, canalis caroticus. This canal has two openings, apertura externa and apertura interna, canalis carotici. Next canal, here it is, that is canalis muscula tubarius. It is on the body between margo anterior of pyramid and pars squamosa. Between them, canalis muscula tubarius. This canal consists of two halves. Upper half of this canal, upper half, that is semicanalis, half canal, semicanalis musculus tensoris tympani. In this half, we have muscle which tends tympanic membrane. Semicanalis musculus tensoris tympani. And lower half canal, semicanalis tuba auditiva. Do you know about auditive tube? That is communication between middle ear and nasal part of pharynx. It's equalized pressure, atmospheric pressure with the pressure in middle ear, in tympanic cavity. That is semicanalis tuba auditiva. Half canal of auditive tube, semicanalis tuba auditiva. That is two parts of canalis muscula tubarius. And the last canal, impossible to see, but you need to answer this canal. That is facial canal, canalis facialis. Facial nerve pass through this canal. Canalis facialis, it's start in meatus acousticus internus, inside of meatus acousticus internus. Here it is beginning of canalis facialis, and this canal inside of pyramid goes forward and laterally to the level of hiatus canalis nervi petrosi majoris. Here it is, it goes backward, makes turn, makes knee of canalis facialis, gyniculum canalis facialis, and goes backward to the level of eminentia arcuata. And here it is, canal goes downward and opens through foramen stylomastoidum. That is why beginning of facial canal in meatus acousticus internus, and end of this canal in foramen stylomastoidum. How to identify, is it right or left? Zygomatic process should be forward, anteriorly, and mastate process backward, and porus acousticus externus should be laterally. That is left temporal bone. Left temporal bone. Here it is. Left bone. What we can see here in temporal bone: zygomatic process, tuberculum articularis, fossa mandibularis, stylate and mastate processes. Here it is foramen stylomastoidum, that is incisura mastoidea, sulcus arteria occipitalis, and here it is a carotid canal, canalis caroticus. Here it is, that is canalis caroticus, this canal, that is apertura externa, and here it is apertura interna of carotid canal. Jugular fossa, here it is fossa jugularis together with jugular notch of occipital bone. Together they make jugular foramen on the whole skull, but on isolated bone only fossa jugularis, jugular fossa. Here it is porus acousticus internus, groove of sigmoid sinus, superior border of pyramid. Here and here grooves of petrosal nerves, nervus sulcus nervi petrosi majoris and sulcus nervi petrosi minoris. Well, next time, two bones, temporal and parietal. That is all. Goodbye.